Since I became a Muslim, I'd never been to a mosque in my home country, which I decided to do this time around. I had tried previous times to go to a mosque because I didn't know anything about Islam when I was in my home country. But whenever I came, like I remember one Eid, I was not allowed in the mosque because they said there's no place for women. So I didn't go. So because I travel back and forth and I don't stay for long in Zimbabwe, I've never really had the opportunity to visit a mosque. So I asked my niece one day if she knows any mosques near her, and she told me about this beautiful mosque. I was going to say masjid. Yes, it is a masjid. This is the space. It's got the female toilets there. The men's toilets are out at the back, and these are classrooms. They have amazing classes for adults and children about teaching Islam, learning the Quran, and most importantly, and they have this wudu area this is on the women's side, and it is nice. The water comes out, and it's really good area. It's nice and cool because it's very hot country. This is the men's side, and this men's wudu area is right next to the entrance to the mosque, to the men's side. So if you go in there, it is nice, clean, and I especially love this mosque because that behind the brick wall is the women's side, and now I'm at the women's side, and it's divided. In Islam, men and women pray separately, with men in the front and women at the back. And I like this separation because you can actually see what's happening in the front. This is actually divided in a way that you can see the imam. You see? You can actually see the imam. I've been to mosques in England, in the UK, where women have a basement place somewhere. They don't even see the imam. You don't feel part of the Jummah, or you don't feel part of whatever talks are happening. It's like they found just a space that they can put women and close it off for whatever reason. I've been to Oxford. I've been to places where it's kind of scary, especially when you're traveling. I travel a lot, so I've been to places where I look for a mosque. I ask for a women's prayer place, always locked. If you do find it, it's in a basement somewhere, no proper lighting or minimum lighting. Some are actually quite dark and filthy in some places, especially the women's toilets in England. But I love how this mosque is in a nice community, not it's a low income area, a high density area, but the mosque is just amazing, better than a lot of mosques that I've seen in England where they don't have places for women to pray. I'm talking about the ones that don't have spaces for women to pray, and where it's just dark and dingy, and if you do have, sometimes they just put it somewhere where you're not really a part of the mosque. But this one, the layout is just fantastic. The men in the front, the women at the back, and it's nice, it's clean, it's well thought out that the women also can go to the mosque and have a nicely dedicated spaces. Yes, in the UK there are mosques like that, but you'll notice that a lot of them have it separate. Some of them, even if it's Jummah, you can't even see the imam. And if I remember well, it's been stated that if you do not see the imam, the prayer is not valid. But obviously I just read about it, I don't remember where. This was in the early ages and stages of my conversion, so I don't know if that's true. But I love this, how it's a small community, it's a very nice clean mosque, and inside there it's so cool. There's no air conditioning, no fans on, but it's a cool system. It's cooling. I think it's a naturally cooling system, the way it was built, but you don't feel hot once you enter in there. It's just amazing. So then this is the Adhan. It's time for Adhan. And then people start to fill in the mosque. Obviously, I didn't want to film the women, especially from the front, see their faces or anything. So I was just recording a little bit just to, you know, when people were passing by, I didn't want to record anyone. And this is the women's side close to there. And then there are obviously some Qurans. There's a place where Qurans stay and you can get a Quran and read before Jummah starts. And I found it quite fascinating because I'd never been in a mosque, because I became a Muslim in the UK, and that's where I spent more than half of my life, and I'd never been in a mosque where they speak my local language. So I found that quite interesting. This is just an extract of the Jummah.
As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wakatora wakatipa choice kuti jahannam deraho jana deraho. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kumbeli kwacho Nabii Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanataka kupita mujana inyasha letsitsi za Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inyasha letsitsi za Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hadi wani rahma ya Allah ndio wakatipa fara 99 Allah wakaichengeta. Saka kana Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wakachengeta tsitsi dzavo kwesusu tikudzimanisa tsitsi dzavo kana tikumanisana nedunia, tikumanisana nedunia kana tikumanisana nejahannam, tikumanisana nejahannam kana tikumanisana nejana. Mumuslimu wetu anofanira kuzviziva kuti chose yatikuda zvokuenda munzira ipi zvokupadzera Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
After Jummah, everybody leaves, but it's a really nice community. I got to talk to some people in there and just have a look at the rough area it is. If you're ever in Zimbabwe, this is a great mosque to go to. I like the sense of community in here. I actually got to speak to some people, get to know what they do. Some of the women there travel quite a long way to come because this is their nearest mosque, and some of them travel with tiny children just to come for the lessons to learn about Islam, because a few of them are converts. Islam is only about 1% of the population. Even when I became a Muslim, I had not heard about Islam in Zimbabwe while I was growing up. So it's nice to know that there's a community out there, and it's really good. People get together. There was actually an announcement that people were going to collect some food for sadaqah for the elderly, which I found very nice. And they have things like Eid celebrations.